invite the cast of our pageant to come into their places. This year, we are delighted to have a Christmas pageant again. We are delighted by the young people who are sharing their gifts and talents with us and telling the story of the friendly beasts. There's an old tradition that on Christmas Eve each year that your animals can speak to you. Of course, no one's awake because we're asleep waiting for Santa, but the animals have a story to tell. And this year's pageant is the story that they have of how they helped to welcome Jesus into the manger. Now, as usual, we are inviting each of you to participate somewhat in our pageant. And so we invite you, first of all, if you have a hat, to go ahead and put that on. Thank you for our special hat wearers. And you can join in, everyone, in singing with Brittany as we sing together the words of the friendly beast. You'll find those printed in your bulletin. And so, thank you, children, for reminding us of the gifts that we all have to bring to Jesus this Christmas.
Jesus, our brother, kind and good, was humbly born in a stable rude, and the friendly beast around him stood. Jesus, our brother, kind and good.
Joseph borrowed me for the trip. He was a kind man, a neighbor, and when he came to my master and explained the need, he said, "Of course, take her." "Take me? Take me where?" "To Bethlehem," he said. I'd never heard of Bethlehem, but we had a long way to walk, and the lady needed to ride. You see, the lady was going to have a baby. She couldn't make the journey on foot. While we walked, she sang little songs to the baby, even though he wasn't born yet. Her voice was so sweet. Even though I felt tired, I found the strength I needed. I had to get her there safely. I had to get the baby there too. Finally, we arrived, but there was no room for them inside the inn. We all went to the stable together.
I said the cow all white and red, I gave him my manger for his bed, I gave him my hay to pillow his head. I said the cow all white and red.
It was certainly curious, and they came, the man and the lady and the donkey, all of them exhausted from traveling so far. We don't usually have people staying with us in the stable. You understand, but the town was crowded. Every stall, every room was full. It was late at night when they came, and they were ready to rest. But it wasn't long until the lady sat up and spoke softly to the man to wake him. "Joseph," she said. "I'm here, Mary," he answered. And it wasn't long after that we heard the little baby's voice. I never knew crying could sound so sweet. Of course I made room for him in the manger. It was just right for a crib. It was just right for a baby with no place else to go.
I said the sheep with curly horn, I gave him my robe and blanket warm. He wore my coat on Christmas morn. I said the sheep with curly horn.
It was cold that night, a terrible night to have a baby. When the lambs are born, we always hope for a warm night. It's better for the little ones and better for the moms too. Everything goes harder when it's cold. Little ones, newborns, whether they're lambs or people, need to be kept warm. In the fields, the sheep huddle together. But that night we followed the men into town where they went into a little stable. I went right in with them and I saw the little baby. It was cold that night, even in the stable, but I have wool to spare. I gave it willingly to warm the baby. He had a fine blanket out of my coat, and when his mother smiled at me, I felt warm too.
I said the dove from the rafters high, I cooed him to sleep so he would not cry. We cooed him to sleep, my maids and I said the dove from the rafters high.
We were dozing in the rafters of the barn, where the heat rises to keep us, and you can just see the starlight through a slit in the thatched roof. There was a beautiful star that night, so bright that the light came right inside. I noticed it just after the baby was born. The starlight spilled right down like a lantern shining on the manger. All the animals were quiet when the baby came, watching him. And then my mate and I began to sing softly a little lullaby for the baby. Babies sleep better when you sing to them. We made it especially beautiful for the baby.